Manitoba's Jeff Stoughton continues to climb the standings, improving to 4-1 after defeating Eddie McKenzie of Prince Edward Island today 9-2. Elsewhere, Team Ontario and Glenn Howard defeat Jamie Cooey and the Northwest Territories 7-4. And Brad Gushue is a perfect 6-0 with a 6-3 win over BC's Andrew Bolesky. So to the standings, we'll look at it. You'll see Newfoundland Labrador at 6-0, Ontario right behind at 5-0, Manitoba and Northern Ontario both at 4-1, as well as Quebec in that three-way tie. New Brunswick improving to 3-3, also beating Saskatchewan last night too, so that was another big win for them. And you'll see Alberta 1-4. Just slightly above the bottom three teams in BC, Nova Scotia, and PEI. Well, I'm joined by Scott Manners, and Scott, you've been in these situations before.
For sure.
It's been really tough for Kevin Martin. Improved from last game, certainly. Down, was it 7-1? Lost 8-1 yesterday. But there was a few key shots today that really he could have taken advantage of, but didn't.
For sure, there was, Moses, especially in the middle ends. It could have really turned around for the Martin team. A lot of points left off the board today. They're going to have to play better in their next one. We know they can. We're surprised to see them struggle the way they have. Missed deuces and chances for threes really left off the board in those middle ends. Now
his 1-4, that's the last thing you want anytime you go into a draw at an important national event like this. You
Absolutely.
lose your 4 games.
Yeah.
You're hoping for at least a tiebreaker. Does Martin and his rink have any chance to at least make a tiebreaker, perhaps the playoffs at this point?
I think they could. I think they can. I mean, they're really going to have to turn it around and get on that roll and start winning game after game after game. We know they can do it. We've seen them rattle off 5 or 6 wins in the past. They can eke out a tiebreaker, but they're really going to have to start and play like a team, and we haven't quite seen it yet. There's still a few chirps from the lineup, and Kevin is holding the bag, so to speak, and they're really going to have to turn it around.
We could always talk about Kevin Martin and his poor performance, but we can't forget about James Grattan. Yesterday, when he took on Saskatchewan, he had a great first end, then stole in the second and third. Nearly lost it towards the end there, had an interesting game, but did win it in 11. And of course here, making some fantastic shots, including the one in the second end, that incredible hit and roll for a steal.
Grattan played great. We don't always expect this from New Brunswick to come out and play well, but everybody wants a crack at the hometown boy, and everybody wants to take down Kevin Martin, and it shows by the record. It shows by the way other teams are playing against this team. Teams are standing on their head to beat the Alberta champ. It's great. It's unusual to see, but it's nice. It's hard when it's you, the one that's getting beat up on. But
now, what was it? Was it Martin in the 8th end? I believe he was saying, "Why is everyone making all these great shots?" Or he's never been in a situation where he's had to make a great shot time and time again.
Yeah. And when you see them struggling with those little bits, those little inconsistencies, that's when the team will really struggle to finish and finish well.
All right, now we have the games this evening, the draws this evening. The primetime game on TSN is Northern Ontario's Brad Jacobs against Ontario's Glenn Howard. These two, I wouldn't say a rivalry, but these two know each other. They're very familiar with each other.
They do.
And we're expecting another great game tonight.
It will be. You know, I hope it goes the mile. There's nothing worse than a blowout. These two teams butt heads many times in the Ontario region, and they know each other well. But it's Manitoba that's really going to have to pull together. Last night in the Gushue game, we could almost see them coming apart, and Brad seemed to get the jump on them early. A big 3 last night when they started that game. If it happens again, I'm afraid our Northern Ontario foursome might get a little more explosive like we've seen them do in years past. It's going to be Ontario's night to win, and I'm picking Howard to win this one.
If there's a team that, well, that would definitely help out Saskatchewan, because I was going to say if there's a team that would benefit from that, it would be Brock Virtue very quickly. Saskatchewan taking on Manitoba. Not easy. They're 2-3, Virtue's rink. Can they do, or what can they do to at least be successful tonight? Yeah,
Saskatchewan's really going to have to play well. Manitoba is just coming to them so easily to score deuces and multiple scores. It's just happening for them. They're working together. They're figuring out the ice early. Manitoba's doing that far better job than any other team that we see in the lead. I'm predicting them as well to come out on top tonight.
All right, you heard it from his mouth, Manitoba and Ontario tonight. Well, that's your first look at sports. Gerard will have your weather details coming up. It came down to the final weekend, but the first round of the AJHL playoffs is finally set. The Bonnyville Pontiacs are opening against the Drayton Valley Thunder tonight. As Clayton Brown explains, Bonnyville went 7-3 in their last 10, solidifying home ice advantage and look to carry that momentum into Game 1.
Last year, the Pontiacs lost 9 of their last 10 in the regular season, which turned into an early exit from the playoffs. This year, the morale in the dressing room heading into round 1 is completely different.
Last year we were 1-8 to end the season, which was pretty horrible, and then now this year we're on a bit of a roll. I just emotionally our team's feeling really good.
We're a lot more confident going into the playoffs. We have a way better feeling about the team we have here, and we have a better feeling about how far we can go in the playoffs.
Despite finishing 3 spots higher in the standings, the Pontiacs dropped 5 of 6 regular season games against Drayton Valley, being outscored 17-10.
They bring a very tough challenge to us, and so I think ultimately it's going to be a very hard-fought, tough series where we know we're going to have to be at our best to have success.
Bonnyville will kick off the first round without leading scorer Tanner Dusick, who's been out with an upper body injury since the middle of February, leaving a big hole to fill offensively.
He's our team MVP and leading scorer, yet ultimately we haven't had him for a while. And so, again, we don't focus on anything else other than the guys that are in the lineup.
I know guys like me and Dallas Mortensen get a lot of opportunity on the power play, so anytime we get chances, we've got to really bear down.
Puck drop tonight is at 7 o'clock, and Game 2 goes tomorrow night. In Bonnyville, Clayton Brown, Newcap Sports.
To the Midget AAAs, after splitting the first 2 contests, the Lloydminster Baker Hughes Bobcats were in St. Albert to take on the Raiders for Game 3 of their North Division semifinal. And it was tied at 1 in the second. Matt Nielsen loses the puck, but Tyler Bush scores his 3rd goal in 2 games, 2-1 Bobcats. 13 seconds left in the frame. Kyler Henn drives to the net. He'll feed Sebastian Array, and he'll tie things up at 2 apiece. It would stay that way until 31 seconds into double overtime. Cole Nicholson from the point provides the heroics. The Baker Hughes Bobcats take a 2-1 series lead with a 3-2 victory. Game 4 goes tomorrow night at the Civic Center. To football now, the road to the 101st Grey Cup in Regina was set this morning as the 2013 CFL schedule was announced. Now, here are some of the key dates involving the Riders and the Eskimos. The preseason will start on June 12th, and you'll have the Riders playing 2 days later against the Eskimos at Commonwealth on Friday, June 14th. The Riders will end their preseason against Calgary the following week on June 20th, and the Eskimos against BC on the 21st. The CFL season begins on June 27th, with the Riders taking on the Eskimos once again at Commonwealth on June the 29th. The Riders' home opener will be on Friday, July 5th against the Calgary Stampeders. And of course, the Labor Day Classics, who can forget those? Of course, Winnipeg taking on Saskatchewan, and you have Edmonton and Calgary, and the reverse fixtures for those ones will be the following week. The last regular season game will be on November 2nd as the Edmonton Eskimos, you see a theme here, taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders, this time at Mosaic Stadium, and the 101st Grey Cup will take place in Regina on November 24th.